lockdown workshop. It's been a long week. I'm on a new account, so I'm had to do a lot more travelling. So the videos are starting to dry up. And I've been putting this one off. I was going to do it with the last set, and then I ended up not recording it. And I've got the next set in to do now. And I did kind of promise on one of the teasers that I was going to do it. And I really don't want to video it because it's a pain up the arse, fiddly, time-consuming job that's going to give you about 10 minutes worth of content. And I'll be honest, it's a very small subset of the market that are going to use this. So, yeah, let's make a video of it then. This is going to get 0 hits. Right. Well, would it help if I told you what it was? That camera's pointing down a bit. That's not why I'm down. I'm just down because I'm like leaning on this. To be honest, I'd rather be sat on the settee doing this, which I might end up doing, which is where I did it last time, watching Wheeler Dealers or something. Can't remember what. Anyway, we're in the clean workshop. It's kind of a debatable one, this one, whether it's a mucky job or a clean job. Last time it was flipping mucky because they were covered in muck and I didn't clean them beforehand. So it ended up all over the floor. And there's usually lots of bits and pieces. I haven't actually told you what it is yet, so you're still guessing as to what it is. Anybody that's done this will know why I'm reluctant to crack into it, but I said I was going to do it. I'm doing it for a friend, Jerry, who does the cyclocross racing. So there's your first clue. Bleep bloop it down there somewhere if you've already guessed what it is. Yeah, you're looking at them going, what's so bad about them, Mark? Well, not all is what it seems. So in a world of tubeless tyres, these are not tubeless. And I'll be honest, that's probably not far off the pressure that she runs them at. Very, very low pressures. So low even a tubeless wouldn't be able to do it. So you've probably guessed what these are. These are cyclocross tubular tyres. So one of the restrictions for cyclocross, when it's a sanctioned event, is that they have to be 33 or 3.3 centimetres, 33 millimetres across. So this is a 700C 33C as opposed to a normal road bike wheel. There's a 700C 25C or 28C. These are 33Cs, so they're not that wide, they're not like gravels. It requires a lot more skill than gravel bikes, especially when there's thick mud and stuff. And one of the ways you get around it when it's shit conditions is you drop your tyre pressures right down. Really nice wheels these. These are not cheap wheels. These are Forza wheels. They are carbon and they are race wheels. She's got 6 of these. I've already done 2. These are the next 2 to do. And then I've got to order some more tyres. So I've already ordered the tyres for these, and I'm hoping desperately I've not just sent the new tyres back with her with a bag full. I don't think I have. I think they're in the other building. So we've already things we need to do. So we've got to strip these tyres off these rims, which is the bit that's the pain up the backside, number 1. We've got to prepare the tyres to go on the rims, and you have to dry fit them on the rims first and stretch them and leave them for about a day or so on the tyre, pumped up to full pressure to stretch them. The tyres are already pumped up, but you've got to be careful not to pump them up too much when they're not on the wheel, if they're like tubeless, because you can damage the tyre. But you do need to stretch them, but you do it on the wheel because the rim supports it. But to do that, I've got to get the rim in the state that it's going to be in when I'm ready to glue it, right? So anything that's coming off is got to come off. Now, the last set I did two different ways. One of the wheels, the tyre came off and took most of the taping and glue off with it. So I cleaned the rim and did that as a clean rim and did it from fresh. And then the other rim, when I pulled the tyre off, I used the hairdryer and it left most of the glue and the Belgium tape on the rim. So, Belgium tape. Right. Let me get a piece of paper and I'll try and explain this. I've just had a good 20-minute monologue about why we do things. So, we might as well start again now, just in case you didn't see it, because I don't think you've seen any of this, but we'll give it a whirl anyway. Right then, so this is the problem. This I was just trying to explain. This is a section of this style of rim with a normal road tyre on it, and these rims are designed for road tyres, right? But they will go up to a 33, but that's say a 23, 25, let's call it a 25, right? And you can see the radius there follows the radius there, so your glue contact patch is all the way across there. The problem we've got with this is you've got the same radius, and that radius isn't drawn very well on that, it's kind of more down there. So if you imagine you've got the circle, right, the radius kind of the rim touches there and then it goes down and then up, right? So you'll get a bit of glue touching it there and a bit of glue touching it there, and then the glue that you're putting down there won't be touching the edge of the tyre, which is what I was trying to show there. So what you do, and this is what I was showing there, is if you imagine it's like that, I'll draw a bigger picture. It's still not dished as much as it would be, but you put a layer of glue on, right? Then you put your Belgium tape on, which is like a cloth rim tape, and that goes there, right? And then you put some more glue over the top of it, right? And what that does is it reduces the radius. So when you put that on, it fills that gap there because you've put some tape in there, and then the glue touches all of it. Right, so it stops it rolling off, because that's basically the problem you get if you do it with air. You just get glue there, and when you go around the corners, because these are such low pressure, it pulls off that, there's nothing holding it there, and then it just rolls straight off because that won't hold it. And you don't get that with that because the glue's all the way on, and these are run at really low pressure, so they do tend to just roll over. So that's kind of the problem that we've got. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can either just keep layering up the glue, because it does tend to build up thicker in the middle, or you put that on, but they do reckon you still need 3 layers of glue anyway. So yeah, I put some Belgium tape on one of the other wheels, I did, but it didn't work that well. I was struggling to get it to stick, and the tyre was pulling it off, because that's the problem with this, it is contact adhesive, because when you're preparing the tyre, you put glue on there, you put glue on the tyre. You put glue on there, you put glue on the tyre, you put glue on there, you put glue on the tyre, you put glue on there, you let that, you let them all dry up, and then the very last one, you put glue on there, you don't let it dry up, you drop the tyre on, and then because that's still moist, you can jiggle the tyre around, but the problem is, it's still contact adhesive, it sticks to it. Whereas with these, with a road tyre, you're less likely to use, or I never used glue on road tyres. I'd use the double-sided tub tape, which is like a gooey compound more than an actual tape, but it came on a reel, and you put it on with the tape, and it had a backing layer. And what you do is you put the tub tape on, leave the double-sided sticky tape cover on it, but you just leave part of it hanging out there. And then you put your tyre on, you wriggle your tyre around so it's completely centred properly. You put a little bit of pressure into it, but then you just pull that rip strip out and pull the backing tape off, the double-sided sticky tape, all the way around the rim, and it just basically leaves that stuck on the rim then. And then you blow it up, and then you leave it for a bit and let it all bond and suck into it and everything, and then generally that's enough for a road tyre. Now that doesn't work when you're doing grass track on the road tyre size things, because you still get this problem where it'll roll off the rim. So you would need to double-sided contact adhesive glue that to give you the extra stick. But anyway, so what I was also saying about the last time I did these, the last set I did, one of the sets of wheels I took the tyre off, and it took most of the Belgium tape off and the glue, so I cleaned the rim down, and then I did it as a clean rim. So I did it 3 times, did the tyre 3 times, put it on, put the Belgium tape on, but the Belgium tape came off. So I just went for an extra layer of glue, put it all back on again. Seemed to stick. I seem to get good stiction. We'll find out if the tyre rolls off when Jenny's racing it. The next one I did when I took it off, I got the heat gun on it and it left a lot more of the Belgium tape behind. I picked off any of the big chunks and stuff, but it was a nice textured surface. So I just glued that up twice and then primed the tyre twice. And then just make sure I got a nice fresh seal round before I drop the tyre on, and that just sucked on nice as well, but obviously that had still got the Belgium tape on it. So anyway, I've done both sets. I will feed back in a later video if we have any failures, because from everything I've seen, everybody swears by both methods. So you know, they can both be right or they can both be wrong. They'll probably both be right. And then people will be staunch supporters of the tape and people will be staunch. You tend to find that with this. It's a very niche sport and people have got very fixed views on how you should do it. Anyway, right, so we were talking about how we're going to get these off before I screwed the video up. So we've got a spludger, which is out of my kit that I use for fixing phones and electrical stuff. So this is used for prising cases off, prising screens off iPhones. There's plastic ones and metal ones. You need a metal one for this. I was saying that back in the day, there's a bit of glue on that. I don't feel so bad about leaving glue all over the other one now. Back in the day when we used to do this for road tyres, we'd have a leather hook, a leather needle that's about that long, that was bent to the exact same curvature as the inside of the thing. And what you do is you wriggle it through. It got a blunt nose. You'd wriggle it through until it popped out the other side, and then you pull some dental floss through with the thing, and then you get some sticks and wriggle it all the way around, and that'll get it off. Now, I don't think that's a particularly good idea for carbon rims, and also these tubs now are flipping expensive compared to what they were back in the day. You know, so they're a lot more expensive, so you want to try and preserve these. I don't want to knacker these. So where do you start? I'd start somewhere away from that, because what you want to do is wriggle it off till the point where you've got enough off to get your fingers underneath it and you can start to roll it off. You need really strong fingers for this. It is not the easiest thing to do. So what I'll be doing is I'll be prising this away using the spludger, right? And then when I get enough of it off that I can get some clearance, then I'll get the hot air in there as well, either a hot air gun turned down low or a hairdryer. I'm using a hairdryer, right? And you can see I'm already getting a bit of traction there. You'll start off well and it gets easy, but then as soon as you move along it gets harder and harder because you can move less of it off. And again, you've got to be careful with these. Now these are good ones, these are really expensive ones. So these tyres are probably about best part £70–80. These might be more. I think they've got the finer sidewalls. I've also got this tool as well. So there was a couple of points where on the other one where I couldn't get the glue to move. There was a little bit of tape hanging through, or it just wouldn't shift. So this is a plastic razor blade, right? It's actually for a tool used for scraping gasket off aluminium cylinder heads so you don't damage them. That works really well. You're not going to cut the tyre as you're sort of teasing it and scraping it. Okay, it is sharp, and if I went like that I would cut the rim, the sidewall, but for this it's adequate. What you do need though is you need a lot of pressure out of this. You need a little bit in there from what I found, so you can lever away at it, but I mean, you've seen I'm starting to get some of this to move already. We'll get one side off, and then what we'll try and do is wriggle the spludger through to the other side. So I'll keep levering it and pushing it and levering it, and if I'm struggling I'll get the heat in. But what you tend to find with the heat, and this is what I said on the bit of video that I didn't press record on, is in the old days when this was mainly aluminium rims that you did this on, or possibly even steel rims, they conduct the heat better. So you put some heat on the outside and it draws it through and gets it into the middle of the tyre. But the problem is with these is it's the carbons it's almost like an insulator. It's just not going to do that. And the problem is as well, it starts sticking onto itself. So I'm peeling this off, and the trouble is it's contact adhesive, so it's just wanting to stick back on itself again. So I'm trying to get as much off as I can without damaging anything. And we're getting somewhere. You can see we're starting to get in there now. So it's almost enough now that we could start getting some heat in there, but I just want to see if I can get a bit more off. You just have to keep working away at it, and then eventually I'll get this spludger through to the other side. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to cut it here, and then we'll go on to time lapse for a bit. Right, back to normal time. That was a bigger battle than the other one. But if you look at there, you can see exactly what I mean. There's a section there that hasn't made contact with the tyre and it's still shiny. So we've managed to get this off with most of the rim tape, the Belgium tape, still in place. There's a couple of patches where it isn't there, so I might just put some filler bits in there. We've got a couple of these snotty bits around the edge where I first started off. A little bit of chafing of the rim, but I mean it looks like there's chafing already there because there's some bits around here where it's chafed, where you can see somebody's had done the same. They've had to get something in to lever it off. So all in all, I'd say that was reasonably successful. So we've got the other one to do now, which is the back wheel. We'll get that one off, and then I'll bring you back when we're gluing up. It's awful. It really does take ages. Your fingers are knackered, your arms are knackered. It doesn't help I'm trying to keep it in shot in there, whereas I'd rather get it on the floor and give it some beans. So you can see there's a couple. You can see where some of this it's come off the tyre and left the glue on the rim, and then there's other bits where the glue stayed on the rim. I don't know what causes that. It could be a bad batch of glue because the last set of glue I had was awful. It had gone off. Fortunately, there's no bits where it's actually pulled some of the coating of the rim off, like some of the Planet X wheels. So I'm not going to have to reapply any of this. But we've got the tyres off in one piece. They've still got air in them, so these can be reused. You'd probably put a bit of glue on the bits where the glue's come off the rim, and I think that's possibly because they put it on in a bit thicker layer. The idea is the first layer you put it on so it's barely a smear and it sucks into the tape, but if you put it on too thick it doesn't suck in. So it's lots of thin layers and you work it into the fabric. So you can see it's obviously glued there, but it's not glued around there. And you see there's a couple of bits there where the Belgium tape's come off. So it is really like lint tape that you use for bandages. But anyway, that's that one done. We've got the other one to do, so I'll spare you that trauma. Right, bring you back when we're ready to start gluing some stuff up. Well, that was a game of two halves. This one absolutely flew off. I got a bit under it and you could see that there's been a lot of mud and water ingress. That tyre was absolutely knackered, but you can see the mud's got right underneath it, so I'm going to have to really clean these off, but the Belgian tape is still on. But again, there's whole places you can see where it's not made full contact, so we'll get plenty of glue on this rather than just one layer, because when you've got stuff on you really need one layer. Possibly, you know, one layer on the wheel and then just prime up the tyres. Keep pointing over there, they're not there, they're in the other shed. But yeah, you can see all the way around on one side it's partially come off and there's mud got underneath it. But fair play, it stayed on. Now what I didn't show you before was this tyre was actually delaminated. The tread has come off the rim. Now possibly we could glue that back on because these are handmade, so that will have been glued on. But to be honest, it's probably going to fail again. I mean, the adhesive would do it, but I'll fix that bit. But then, as you'll see, it's coming away all the way along, so it's only a matter of time before it comes off. It's a shame because I think the rest of the carcass is okay. The sidewalls are okay. It's just had a tough life, but that just shows the kind of pressure these are under when they run at low pressures. Pressure at low pressure. So this is an intermediate tyre. It's kind of a grass come moist conditions, but not mud. So it's got a bit of bite to it, but and enough openings to release mud and grass. But you wouldn't use that on a hard, dry grass. You'd use that on wet grass, sticky mud. And then the tyres I'm putting on is heavy mud. They're about as bad as you can get. But anyway, right, so that's the worst bit done. Now we've just got the other worst bits to do. There's no nice bit about doing these at all. Everything's horrible. When you're gluing up, it stinks because it's contact adhesive, so it's glue sniffer's glue. So you've got to have it well ventilated. It takes ages as well. You've got 3 coats to put on. You've got weighting in between, which means you've got wheels sat around all over the place. You're trying to keep the dogs off so you don't get dog hair stuck to it. And then you come to stick the things together and you inevitably end up with at least one that doesn't look quite right. I think I got lucky last time. Both of them fairly went on. But anyway, and the other on the plus side, we haven't blown up the wife's hairdryer, which I thought I had done at one point, which would have resulted in, well, it is Christmas, I suppose I could have bought her another one. If you know my missus, you'll realise how little she uses a hairdryer. Right, so as I said, we're gonna call that a day now. I'll bring you back when we're ready to start gluing, and I'll show you that process. I'm using a different glue this time, so we'll see if that's any better than what we were doing last time. I think the glue we had last time had gone off, to be honest. I think I said this at the beginning of the video, so we'll see how we go. Put the blade in there, and I won't remember that I've done that, and then I'll be looking for it. Right then, and not too mucky this time. The tyres, because she'd just come from a race when it was wet. When it was wet, I think she cleaned the bike as well. So, whereas the tyre set I did first time, the intermediates, they were covered with grass, so there was just dried grass everywhere. Every time I touched the tyre, great lumps of it were falling off. So I should have cleaned them really. Anyway, right, I'll bring you back shortly. It'll be like instant for you, but for me it might be a couple of days, whatever. Might have time to do it tomorrow, might be later on this weekend. It's Thursday today, by the way. Just took a picture of myself, that was completely unintentional. Right, Sunday morning, I'm feeling a bit shit actually. I think I'm coming down with a cold. Head's a bit woolly and that, so don't expect a great deal from me today. It's just going to be a little update on the wheels. So we'll have finished the other video where we were stripping them down. I meant to get back to this sooner, but work's getting in the way of a lot of stuff at the moment, and work has a priority over this stuff, so work's the priority. I've changed customer, so I'm spending a lot more time on the customer location than here, which means in the evenings I don't really feel like coming down here, to be honest. Right then, so we won't need that yet, because I forgot what we've got to do is we've got to get these tyres on these rims and sit them there for a length of time. I don't think I've pre-stretched these, but you have to pre-stretch them. Now you can do this thing where people put it on their foot and start giving it some big heave-ho. Not a lot of good. You're more than likely damage the thing. These are all handmade. Most of them are handmade. These are Challenge Limus, which basically means mud in Greek or Italian or something. Don't know. The usual thing with these. We'll get them on the rim. Start them at the corner. You've got to stretch them as well. When you put it in there, just take a note of how much of the backing tape of the tyre you can see on both sides, because it'll give you a good idea of whether it's centred or not. Some of them have like a line, or there's an obvious mark. The problem is with them when they're new is they don't generally like to centre. What you've got to do is stretch them quite a bit while you're putting it on, just to make life a little bit easier for you. And if you can get the centre somewhere near, then that's all well and good. So I'm going to have to drop to the floor now for this bit, I'm afraid. So this isn't the easiest bit. I've never seen anybody do this gracefully, and it all depends on the tyres. These don't seem too bad to fit, but it's like I said, start at the valve. Right, try and keep it as centred as possible. Get a good handful of it, stretch it, try and get it in the, because the closer you get it to the centre, the easier it goes on, and the less challenge you'll have with this next bit, which is the flipping up. Right. So you've just got to, this bit you've just got to work it over your thumbs and hope for the best, and that last bit try and get it so it doesn't roll over. Right, that went on a lot better than the other one. So I've pretty much got that nailed. There's a couple of spots there where you can see the writing. I'm looking for a couple of mil all the way around the white stuff, so it's roughly in the right place, because if you're going to stretch it, you might as well make sure you're stretching it in the right place. I'm just going to look on the other side so you can see a bit of the writing there. Actually no, it's because I'm pulling it over. Right, we might have just lost the end of that. I noticed the battery had died just as I stuck my head up, but I think you got the gist of most of it, and I ain't taking it back off, so it's pretty much in the right place. There's a few spots there where it just needs wriggling right. You know, it went on a lot easier than the other one. The other one was having a nightmare with it. They do have a tendency to roll one way. So when you pump them up, because you're supposed to pump them up first, leave them for 24 hours pumped up at about 80% of their maximum pressure. Just leave them there in room temperature, and you'll see that the valve rotates outwards, so they'll do that, and you can see that's why they've gone on this rim. The treads tended to go to the outside. We'll stick some air in them now, because this always works well, trying to put air in it with the pump up here. So you want to be going up to around just under maximum pressure. So I think maximum for these is 33 psi. Yeah, 33 psi. So go up to about 30 will do to be fine. About 2 bar on that, I think that is. That's it. Get my finger out around that bloody thing. All good. Right, so we're just going to leave that now for an amount of time. 24 hours is fine. So we can probably glue them up, start gluing them up tomorrow. It's a bit of a bummer. I should have done this yesterday. I completely forgot that I needed to do this, and then I could have started putting the glue on, because the glue needs to dry between coats. This has now put me about 2 days behind, and I'm already a week behind with these. I should have had these done and dusted and off to Jerry today, to be honest. So it's good. It's looking like it's going to be later next week, which is a bit of a bummer, unless I get a chance to do it. I mean, these have been pumped up in the and left in the dog grooming parlour for a week, pumped up, so they should be there. And this, to be honest, it went on fairly easily. That one was a bit of a pain up the backside, so we'll leave them in here. I might have a look at them later. I might start gluing them later. I'll take a decision on it. But like I said, these seem to go on quite well. They're really nice tyres, really well made. You can see that's not quite lined up right. But that's the kind of thing you're looking for with that thing. But even that's massively not off. I mean, if I span the tread, you won't even see it, to be honest. You see a little bit of a, but you won't notice it when riding it. So, you know, maybe I'm just being a bit pernickety, but yeah, it just wants rolling in a little bit that way. But that translates to a very small amount on the actual tyre itself. I mean, you can see when I spin it, you probably won't even be able to see that, to be honest. So there we go. Right, so it's going to be lots of parts this video. We'll leave it there and I'll bring you back when we're ready for gluing. Boom, back again. Oh, I've cut my head off. Never mind, you don't want to see that anyway. Right, let's just quickly take this out. I'll keep putting it back in so I don't lose it, to be honest. These have been sat now for about 24 hours. It's relatively warm in here as well. I've left the aircon on. Just need to drop the pressure out of them now. So remember, they were on the rims just to stretch the tyres, get them seated. Didn't have a lot of problems with them, to be honest. In fact, I think this one was harder than the other one to get on. I think probably because I was filming it, to be honest. Or was it the other one I filmed? Can't remember. What was this one? So it's still slightly stuck to the stuff that's on there now. I might just give it a quick wipe down. So you can either use a glue remover or you can use acetone. I have both, which I didn't pick up and bring over here. So I've got some acetone, and I've also got, I'll show you, I think I've shown it before. I've used it on the channel before, I don't know if you can hear me. I've got this stuff. So this is muck-off glue and sealant remover. It does work if you've got glue on the rims, tub tape, residue, or even sticker residue on your frame. Though I would test it on the paintwork first and test it on the carbon. But if you've got any bits that have, when it's gone over, and I think we've got a few crusty bits there and things like that, you can put this on you can squirt it on, it softens it up, or you can squirt it on a bit of cloth, like so. Find the bit you want to remove and just start working away at it. It softens it up. It is not a quick process. Right, I'll tell you that now. So you can see there's some there that's gone over. You can't see this, but it's already dissolving it. Makes it a sticky. There you go. That's off already. It does tend to ball up a bit as well, but it's not an issue. That's actually a sticker. That's where the sticker was, and it's come off. So I thought that was some glue that's gone over. There's some on the top edge here. I'm not too concerned about that actually, because when I put the other glue on, it's gonna soften it up anyway. The glue itself softens the glue up, and it kind of merges it, reactivates it. So that's why you only need to put up, maybe I'll put one layer on this just to seal it all up again, and then I'll put another layer on and put the tyre straight on it. But the tyre's got to get 2 layers in now. So what do we need to do? Do you know what? I was going to bring the pump over here, and I thought I don't need the pump. I'm taking it off. I do need the pump. It's about 4 times I've walked in front of the camera already. Right, so we need to get this up to a reasonably good pressure, but not massive amount of pressure. So what you want is a pressure that gets it up to so you can hold it in your hand and paint it. And I'll show you what I saw on another video. I think it might have been CCN or Mop Deck or something like that, Map Deck. in mat depth. But it's this was on about when you blow them up, they have a tendency to roll. They won't sit inwards like that. They'll roll one way or another. They won't roll that way. They'll roll that way. It's probably because of the nap in the material. But I'm not even up to. I'll take it up to 20. We're up to 20 now, so we're well under. We're only about 2/3 inflated. And if you've got it right, you should be able to do that, and it forms like a nice figure of 8, and it doesn't crush there. So you can stand there like this and paint it all on, but we're all right. We've got the space to do this, so we're fine. Now, the glue I used last time was it was Continental, specifically carbon glue. Now I don't know whether the company was selling old glue, but it was awful. It was so thick you couldn't paint it on. So I have got these because these were the other ones that were recommended. It doesn't tell you how many. Should tell you somewhere how many tubes one of these will do. So it's all written in Italian, unfortunately. Instructions for use. Sandpaper the rim, new or used, clean it with solvent and leave it to dry. Carbon rims just clean with solvent. Clean the seam cover tape of the tubular with a cloth, slightly dipped in solvent. Spread a thin layer of mastic over the rim and over the seam cover tape. After 1 day, apply a second coat of glue on the rim only. Leave for 3 to 4 minutes. Mount the tubular tin on it. So it is what I'm going to do, but they're doing that on a fresh rim with 2 coats on the rim, 1 coat on the tyre. So I'm not too sure that that's a particularly good idea, to be honest. I need to cut another lump of this off. Bear with me. I have loads of rags made from old t-shirts, but I never get in the habit of cutting them up, and then I just grab one out of the bag and it does it. So when it says solvent, it means acetone. So we did buy some. So I will give this a quick wipe round. I didn't do that with the last one, so maybe that was part of the problem. But it was really thick rubbing it on the. Let's just start there. So what it might do is it might help the whole solvent process. It might help it soak in. I don't know. To be honest, I didn't have any problems with these last time. The stuff bonded to it pretty much nicely. No issues at all. I think the back wheel, I'm going to have to do a bit of prep on that because there was some muck on it, so I'm doing the front wheel for you. And then when I do that one, I'll do a bit more prep on it because it was dirty, so I might have to give it a quick bath in solvent. I've seen some videos where they put it in a truing stand with a plastic tray underneath the wheel, and then a hairdryer blowing at the rim with enough force to keep it spinning round very slowly, so it just keeps running it through this tray of acetone underneath the wheel. And obviously because the hairdryer is blowing on it, it's warming the rim up, and the thing just dissolves and all the crap just comes off, and you just have to give it a quick wipe over at the end. So, oops, put that back in. So that's in fact we'll try this on the rim because I haven't tried the acetone yet. See how good that is. Actually, that's working quite nicely. Try it on this side, it's a bit crappier on this side. cold, it's evaporating. Remember when we were kids in the sixth form common room, we used to get the girls' acetone. We used to set fire and stuff, set fire to all sorts of stuff, including ourselves, because it's that volatile. If you put it on your hands, and please don't try this at home, if you put it on your hand and then set fire to it, it's that volatile that the heat of your hand makes it evaporate anyway. So the flame burns a couple of mil above the surface of your skin, so it doesn't actually burn you, and because it's evaporating as well, it actually feels colder, so you burn it and you actually cool down. Yeah, that is definitely dissolving it. It's not quite as good as the muck off, because it's not keeping it fluid, I suspect, because it's evaporating, but it's definitely cleaned the crap off the outer part of that, so that's interesting. Right, so we need to get 2 coats on here, and they reckon leave 24 hours in between. I don't think you need to leave 24 hours in between, but now I don't know how much this will do, but I'm hoping it does a lot more, because volume wise there's about the same amount in there that there was in that tub, and I got 2 sets of wheels out of that entire thing, and it claimed that it should have been able to do about 6 sets. I mean, okay, we're doing extra layers than you would do. I've got to be careful with this brush, it's a knackered brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a little experiment with this. We'll put it on. Oh, you can see that's a lot more fluid already. So what we're going to do is we're going to just drop it on and then smear it around. It wants to be a thin layer. Now the good thing about this is I can control what's going in here. Just make sure we get that sorted out around there. Don't want to be trying to paint this when we get to the end and going around the valve stem. The downside is that it's a bit mucky. Right. That is a million times better, and obviously these are these seal a lot better, they're a lot neater. I've not got the thing open. I'm just getting rid of that. So these are just some cheap shit, I can't remember what, they've got a funny name, these brushes. I can't even remember what you use them for, but they're just cheap crap brushes that I bought off eBay. I think they're like an art brush or something. Oh, that's a million times easier. I wish I'd bought this stuff the first time around. Now the Continental stuff, it was a little bit more expensive because it claimed it was for carbon rims only, and I have had a set of carbon rims where the glue did start to pull the gel coat off, so you do need to be careful. This is drying quite quickly, but I suspect it's because I've got the aircon on. Alexa, turn off the aircon.
Okay.
It is quite warm in here. I just missed a bit there. Just put a bit on my brush rather than. So the idea is you cover, if you cover the whole of this tape up, and there's a bit sticking out the sides. I wouldn't worry too much about that, but you make sure you get a good coverage in it. Having said that though, I still think one of these might only do. Mind, it's the first coat, isn't it? So you get the gist of this. I suspect there's going to be a fair bit of fast forwarding going on. Even if it's not by you, it's by me. So I'll save you the trouble of pressing fast forward, and I'll probably click on the quick button, so you get it at ×6 or something. So I'll shut up now and just concentrate on doing this while you get fast forwarded. That's if I remember. Might not remember. I've managed to get it all over my fingers already. I don't even know how I've managed to do that. Right, so we just set that set that aside to dry now. You can sit there because it is quite warm in here, Andy. Now I should be doing this, to be honest, in a well ventilated area. So I might have to open the door in a minute because last time it gave me a right banging headache. This should be set up for this already. So I use the train stand for this. We can put the no, it's that way around, isn't it? Just in case we leave it. Right. So find the valve. That's not the valve. That's the valve. Find the valve, start there. It's the easiest thing to do. So we're going to do the same again. We're just going to put a bit of glue on here. We're just going to smear it around. Try and go a bit further with this one now. See if we can... It's setting up on the brush already. So again, make sure we get good coverage right the way up to the edge. It's more important on this that we get right the way up to the edge. We've gone over on the other one, so and it needs to be a nice thin smear as well. You can see this is really, it's smoothing out the glue that's already there. So if it looks really rough, that doesn't matter because it's surface texture. It bonds into it. It grips onto it anyway. So if if I got it really clean, I'd spend hours and hours and hours and not actually get that much better of a glue bonding surface anyway. So this is working all right. Quite. Oh, it's all going wrong. Right. So, as I said before, we left the glue on this one. I could spend hours and hours and hours cleaning this glue off, and to be honest, I won't get that much of a better surface to glue to, so I'm not too concerned. It's more important to get make sure that the tyre itself is properly primed. Right, we're nearly there. We're actually doing all right. Where did we get to? About there. So even there's some gaps. There's enough material around it to cover for that. Right. Starting to get to the end of that one. It would be good if I could use one tube per wheel. I think I'll put that on a bit thick. made a bit more of a mess of this than we did the other one. Got a lot more over the side of the rims, but this one seems to be a bit more messier than the other one. That's drying really quick. The other bits we've splodged all over the edge. Right, so we're there, are we? Where else? Where have we got to get to? So we ain't got that far to go, have we? Right. So what I could do with doing is putting a bit less on. He says as he dollops a great big splodge of it in. Right, I just want to get a bit more around this valve hole area, because that is a right, I think that's good enough. Shove you on there. So we've used one tube per wheel, which is a lot. So in theory we should be able to get, so that'll do the other wheel. That should do us the 2 coats we need to on the other one. So that's it, we're done then, and we've still got enough to do another 1, 2, 3 pairs. So another 6. So we're looking to get about 8 out of this, which is pretty good. Right, that's the turn again. A bit there. We'll just give the rim a quick clean where I've blipped some over the edge, and then we're going to leave this to sit now for until tomorrow, or certainly early tonight. Where's the valve gone? So always start at the valve, because you know where you've been then. What I might do is have to give this a bit of a deep clean once the tyres on. So we're back to the beginning again. So some of the stickers are still on that side. On this side now. So all I'm doing is just wiping off the overrun. That's it. Job's a good one. Clean my fingers up with the rest of it. Right. Just got the other one to do now, which you don't need to see. What we'll do though before I cut the recording is, just so you know, I'll stick this somewhere where it can't cause any problems on its side, and then hopefully, I will chuck it there. And then I can leave the other one in the trim wheel, and then tomorrow it'll dry. I mean that's going to be dry very quickly. So we've just got the other ones to do now. Hopefully that brush doesn't go too solid too quickly. Right, so I think this is definitely the way to go using these tubes anyway. You waste a lot less. I can put on exactly what I need. I don't think rolling the tube up helped a great deal, but I think I need to be a bit more disciplined at squeezing it from the back. on the next one. You might get away with using slightly less than the tube, but I've got to do a bit of prep work on that one. That one's in a bit of a mess to where the mud got on it. So I'm going to cut you there. I'll do that one, and then probably I'll bring you back tomorrow when we give the tyres a... I haven't decided whether to give the tyres another coat or whether to, because it says you can just give the tyres one coat. I'm pretty sure it just said one coat. That was on here, wasn't it? Instructions for use. Right, so sandpaper the rim, new or used. Don't do that. Carbon rims just clean with solvent. Yeah, don't sand carbon rims. Clean the seam cover tape of the tubular with cloth, slightly dipped in solvent. We've done that. Spread a thin layer of mastic over the rim and over the seam cover of the tape. We've done that. After 1 day, apply a second coat of glue on the rim only. Leave to dry for 2 to 3 minutes, and then lob the tyre on. So it's still, you've still got a bit of movement. You can move the tyre if you need to. Mount the tubular on the rim. Inflate it slightly and centre it. Inflate the tubular to the working pressure. Maximum gluing strength is reached after 24 hours. There you go. Contains natural rubber solvent hexane. I can't remember what acetone is. It's not hexane. Dimethyl ketone, 2-propanol, propanone. Yeah, might have a chemical name of K2E. Don't think so. Right, anyway, but we needed some, because it is actually good degreaser as well. Right. Right, 1 day later than planned. Good news is ceramic bearings have turned up, and these are greased and they appear to be a lot tighter. So I'm going to make a note of the seller that I bought these from on AliExpress. Make sure I get all my bearings from them in the future, because these are a lot better than the other ones. I did some research, by the way, and I'll probably talk about this when I do it, but just in case I do get some abuse on the thing for you're not supposed to grease ceramic bearings. Actually, you are supposed to grease ceramic bearings, but they will claim that you're supposed to use special grease. Basically what the grease does is it gives it something to run on, which you'd have that for anything, but it acts as a barrier for muck and dirt getting into there in the first place, because if you get muck and dirt and then it gets ground up, it still damages the outer race anyway, so because the balls are harder, whether or not they are ceramic, those ones that we bought the other day, because I'm very skeptical, but they were still cheaper than buying hardened stainless steel bearings from the UK bearing supplier anyway, so I'm probably none the worse off, to be honest. Right then, let's crack on with these. This is set up nicely now, so it's got its bonding coat on. So what we can do is we can let that down now. Make sure you let it all the way down, because you want to be able to get it on the right. Let's put that out of the way. It's not somewhere it's going to get mucky. And we've got this. Can't believe how light this is. This stand. I know the wheel's light. Right. So what we're going to do is squirt a bit more of the bonding on here, leave it to dry for a couple of minutes, and then we will crack on. I did see somebody do this the other day with their finger, rather than using a brush, which I guess if you've got a whole load of disposable gloves, that's not entirely a bad idea, but I wouldn't want to get it all on my fingers. I'm still picking some bits off now. Can't remember where I put the brushes. I better put them under here. Ricky, what is up with you? There they are. the brush. Seems a bit of a waste just using it to do 2 rims, but like I said, they're only a couple of pence each. I think I got a box of 10 for about £2 or something like that. So again, just give you a visual inspection, make sure you don't have big lumps on it. It's actually quite smooth. I'm more bothered about any big chunks on the rim that would allow muck to get past it, underneath it, whatever. Inner tube's there, so we will start there, and I'm probably going to go try and go round all in one go. So I will. Let me get you a bit closer. We'll get the remote, haven't we? See how that goes. So I've angled you away from the window because the glare's a bit bad. So we won't need as much on this time. Hopefully it's not gone off. No. So nice thin. Oh, that's a bit gloopy, that bit. That's a bit gloopy. Oh, I've got a kink in the outer part of the tube, so it's not rolling down that well. Oops, that's the treadmill. Treadmill's in the middle of an update again. I'm still trying to get that problem fixed. If you've seen one of the earlier videos, you'll have seen what I'm battling with it. I was kind of hoping I was going to get away with using the whole tube on this. Mind you, I'm not that. It's starting to go off already. How far are we before we hit the... Oh, it's quite a way off. I've got a kink in the tube and it's not... So it's going in some big blodges now. Right. Let's see how far we get with that. We've probably got a bit of spare here. So I want some good spread on this. But it's basically just to loosen up the one that's gone on below again, but it needs to be loose, so when I fit the tyre I've got a bit of time to pull it off and move it around again. If it was left for longer and I tried to do it, it would be pretty much an instant stick. So what I'll do is we'll probably do 2 laps of this. Very nearly there. That's the one. Now let's bust another one out. We'll have to break one open anyway. Just gonna have to try and be careful with it. Right. That's it. Put more on this bit because it was a bit shy on that first bit. Get the lid on. See, it's setting up really quick already. So make sure you get a good even spread all the way across to the outer edge. Right, that is setting up quick, so we've got to get the tyre on. Right, let me shift all this lot out of the way. We're going to go wrestle. Right, I'm going to try and do this as best I can before it goes off. Right, so the hole's there. We've got the cog on that side, so I want to try and keep the tyre away from that side. Right, I could do with putting something on the floor, but I haven't got anything because I don't want to get it on the floor. Piece of plastic. So you just want something to stop the glue that you've just put on from getting stuck to the floor or worse, picking up any crappy bits. Right, so grab a handful of tyre and try and get it so it's roughly centred and push down. So this is why you need it on the floor. You've got to stretch it. And ideally you want it so it's roughly where it should be. And when you get up to this bit, pull off that and then perform the rather unflattering wheel grappling pose. And make sure you don't roll that one over. You want to try and keep the sidewalls off it. Right. It needs a bit of pressure in it now because I've got to have something to leverage on. So probably about 5 psi will do it, just so it's got a shape. Any shape will do. You can already see there's a few bits that need some adjustment. Right, not too much. Right, so what we're looking for is any areas where you can see that one's massively out. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to pull it and try and wriggle it so it's more even. That one comes back a bit, that one comes back a bit, that needs to come back a bit. So you can just roll it. That one wants to go the other way, not by much though. Same look around this side. Look, right, that's wrong. So I'm just looking to make sure we've got a nice even mix, nice even edge of that tape all the way round. That bit needs to come this way a bit. So you can see it's gluing already. Right, that doesn't look a million miles out. That's nice. Right, one last check. Right, there is one bit that looks bad. That bit there. I think it makes it look worse because it goes from one side to the other. Right, it may look better when it's got some air in it as well. Right, let's stick a bit of air in it now and see how it finally looks, if we need to make any final adjustments. Won't get it all the way up, but we'll get it somewhere near, so we're about 25 psi there. So again, right, that's pretty good actually that. So we'll stick it up to the full 33 psi now, and then we'll leave it. This one's done. Just got the other one to do, which I won't bore you with. That's it. Let's go and rescue the, if they're still in here. There we go. Right, that one's done. So what you do with these now is you leave them for 24 hours and let that glue cure. If you want to get some glue remover on the rim after you've done this, just to clean it off, but that doesn't look that bad, to be honest. Quite pleased with that. There's a little bit of over paint there, but they are what they are. You're gluing on rims. I'm more bothered about getting it all over me than anything else. So that one's done. We've just got the front wheel to do, and then we're done. So that's a set of Forza Sirius Pro Carbon cyclocross disc wheels with a set of Challenger Limus tyres on, hand-stitched, handmade cyclocross tyres to cyclocross race specification as well, which is important. We do have one more thing to do for this one, but you don't need to see that, is we are just upping these from a 2511 to a 2811, just to give Jerry an extra gear, especially in the winter. I suspect the bike was ridden originally with a 28, and the person who sold her the bike's dropped this down to a 25. So I've got 2 sets of 28s that I don't need, so I've given those to Jerry. She's dropped these SRAM things off, but they're hers. They'll go back on the bike in the summer when she doesn't need that 28 gear and the weather's better. So we'll see how they go. We'll be getting feedback from Jerry. Interested on what you think about the technique I've used on these. So, boom. Right, I don't know where we got to with that, so we'll do it again. It was a bit of a wrap up. So these are the, the card got full, and it's really difficult to actually go to the end of what was videoed, so I don't know where it cut off without chucking it in the machine. I can't be asked to do that. So these are Forza carbon cyclocross disc wheels, Sirius Pro rim, Forza centre thing, and we've got a handmade Challenger Limus mud winter tyre, so it's for heavy mud conditions. This is about the most aggressive tread they do on it. Got another 24 hours to go on this before it's glued up, and then it should be ready to go. I was also saying that I should be able to tell which tyres have had which techniques. We've used 3 different techniques for gluing them on. Both of these sets are going to be glued up in the same way, and we've got 2 other options on the other ones that went out. So we'll see which ones work, see if any of them fail. This does seem pretty glued on. I don't think that's going anywhere. We'll see when it's done. But this definitely, this is the way forward to use the tubes. That tube was already starting to go off, and that's only been, what, 3 days since I used it. I'm thinking that this stuff is definitely cheaper than Black Witch, so I'm thinking this is a good option for wetsuits, because it is rubber glue, not neoprene glue, but it's rubber glue, and neoprene glue is rubber glue, same stuff. Right, so we'll put this to bed. I've got the other one to do, and that's about it. Watch out for the other video for the rebuilding the giant wheel with ceramics, bearings. I've got 2 wheels to do on the go, but I was missing parts for at least one of them, so one of them's still in pieces over there, so I've got to finish that one up. That video will probably follow on this one. In fact, I'm going to shoot that next once I've got the other tyre on. So we'll wrap this here. I might go and show you the other wheel when I get it on, but I'm pretty pleased with that. This went on actually relatively easy. Like I said, I might still put some of the glue remover around the edge, but I'm just careful because I don't want to damage the outer part of the rim, so I'm just going to have to be careful with that. Like I said, it's not that much of a big issue anyway. Right, job's a good one.